Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to solve question 5 of your topic 8 assignment. So let's read the question. The nation of Ectania has 40 competitive apple orchards which sell apples at the world price of $2 per apple. The following equations describe the production function and the marginal product of labor in each orchard. So here we have the production function and marginal product of labor, where Q is the number of apples produced in a day and L is the number of workers and MPL is the marginal product of labor. What is each orchard's labor demand as a function of the daily wage W? So what we have learned in this chapter, we learned that the companies or businesses decide to hire L number of laborers where wage is equal to MPL, marginal product of labor, times the price. So this is the value of marginal product of labor. This should equal to wage. So we know what is MPL, we know what is price, so we can solve for labor demand function. Wage is equal to MPL is 120 minus 2L, and price is given in the question, which is $2. So wage is equal to 240 minus 4L. And now we can solve for L to find the labor demand function, and which is equal to 4L is equal to 240 minus W. And if you divide both sides by 4, we will get L is equal to 60 minus 0.25 W. So as you see, the last one is the labor demand function given this equation. And now to find the market demand function, we need to multiply this labor demand for individual firm by the number of firms. In this case, we have 40 competitive apple orchards. So now we can write 60 minus 0.25 W times 40. So 60 times 40 is 2,400. Minus 40 times 0.25 W is 10 W. This is market labor demand function. So we can choose the option here. Now here Ectania has 200 workers who supply their labor inelastically. We are going to find the equilibrium wage per worker per day, and then we will find the number of labor workers hired, and then we find the profit. So in order to solve this question, we need to make sure labor demand equals labor supply, right? That's how we determine the equilibrium wage. And labor demand is 2,400 minus 10 W. Labor supply is given in this question, which is 200 workers. And we are going to solve for wage in this equation. So 10 W is 2,200, and therefore W is 2,200 divided by 10, which is equal to $220. So we find the equilibrium wage rate, which is $220. In order to find the number of workers each orchard hires, we need to number here wage and plug it into labor demand function and labor demand function for each firm. And we know that labor demand function for each firm is LD for each firm, 60 minus 0.25 W. LD is equal to 60 minus 0.25 times 220, and therefore which is equal to 60 minus 55, 5. So each apple orchard demands 5 workers. So we are going to type that here. And now makes a profit. In order to find profit, we need to know how many each firm produces. So therefore we need to go up to the production function. And here the production function Q is equal to 120L minus L square. And we know L is 5, so Q is equal to 120 times 5 minus 5 square. So let's calculate that. This part is 600 minus 25, therefore it is 575. Okay, so we find the quantity. Now the next question is how we are going to find the profit. Profit is total revenue. Let's change the color again. Total revenue minus total cost. Okay, so for total revenue, I know the quantity and I know that each product is $2. So therefore it's $2 times 575. For the total cost, I know the wage, which is $220 per labor, times we have 5. We are finding the profit for each orchard, okay? And let's calculate the profit now. 2 times 575 is 1,150 minus 220 times 5, 1,100. So the profit is 50. So we're going to have 50 here. And that is how we are going to solve the first part of this assignment question. In the next step, everything is the same except the world price of apples doubles to $4 per apple. So we are going to solve again for labor demand function for individual firm as a function of daily wage W, and then we will find market's labor demand. So everything is the same, just the price has changed. Therefore, W is equal to MPL times price. Remember, firms hire the amount of workers where the value of their marginal product is equal to wage. So wage is equal to 120 minus 2L times 4, because the price is now $4. And we are going to solve this equation. 120 times 4 is 480 minus 8L, and 8L is equal to 480 minus W. L is equal to 480 minus W divided by 8, which is L is equal to 60 minus 0.125 W. So this is the firm's demand function for labor. We have 40 firms, so therefore the market demand is going to be 60 minus 0.125 W times 40, and that is equal to 2,400 minus 5W, so which is this one. And now we are going to find the equilibrium wage. For equilibrium wage, labor demand equals labor supply, and labor supply in the market is 200, and labor demand in the market is 2,400 minus 5W. And we are going to solve for W here. And we know that 5W is equal to 2,200. Therefore, W is $440. Now, the next step is we are going to find how many workers each orchard hires. In order to find this, we need to go to individual demand curve each firm has. For individual demand, labor demand, we have 60 minus 0.125 W. So labor demand is equal to 60 minus 0.125 times 440. And labor demand for each firm is 60 minus 55. And labor demand is 5. So each orchard hires 5 workers. And now let's calculate the amount of profit. In order to find the profit, first we need to find the quantity each firm produces. So we need to go up and find out the production function. 120L minus L squared. So 120 times 5 minus 5 squared. So therefore that is equal to 600 minus 25, which is 575. So now we can calculate the profit. Profit is total revenue minus total cost. In that case, we know that the price has changed 4 times 575. This is the total revenue. For cost, wage has changed 440 and 5 labor or workers are hired. This is the profit. And therefore, let's calculate it. And the profit is now 100. So we are going to type here 200. Okay, let's go to the final step. Now, everything again is the same except this time we have the hurricane, right? The prices go back to $2, but the hurricane destroys half the orchard, so only 20 orchards remain. Recall that each orchard's labor demand as a function of the daily wage is given this time because we calculated as 60 minus 0.25 W. This is firm's demand function. And what is the market labor demand? Which is going to be LD times the number of orchards, right? So it's going to be 60 minus 0.25 W times 20, and that's equal to 1,200 minus 5 W. So the next step is we are going to find out the equilibrium wage. We are going to use the same logic to solve for equilibrium wage. Labor demand for the market equals labor supply. And labor demand for the market is 1200 minus 5W, which is equal to labor supply 200. And we will solve for W. And 5W is equal to 1000. W is equal to 200. So this is the wage rate, equilibrium wage rate. So in order to find labor demand, the number of workers each firm hires, we are going to use this function. So we are going to plug the wage rate, LD, this is the firm, okay, it's not market, is equal to 60 minus 0.25, 200, and that is 60 minus 50, which is 10. And to find the profit, we need to go and check the production function. Q is equal to 120L minus L square. Q is equal to 120 times 10 minus 10 square. So therefore this is 1,100 apples. So now let's calculate the profit. Profit is going to be total revenue minus total cost. And we know 1,100 times 2 is the revenue. Cost 200 times 10, right? We are now hiring 10 workers. So this is 2,200 minus 2,000, which is 200. That should be $200 of profit per day. And now the last question is, total income in the country was equal to $46,000 before the crop destruction. And what happens after crop destruction? Does it increase or decrease? That's the question. So let's first calculate the income of the orchards. $200 profit times 20 of them, which is equal to 4,000. Let's calculate the wage rate, 200 times the total labor supply, 40,000. So the total income is 44,000 after destruction. And as a result of crop destruction, total income decreases. Therefore, this is a false statement. So this is how you solve this question.